I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering, where are we right now? This looks like maybe Lake Tahoe. Looks like somewhere in the Rockies, maybe up in Maine in the Northeast. I got news for you. We're in tiger country right now. This is actually only 30 minutes from Clemson. It's one of the prettiest lakes in the entire Southeast, if not the prettiest lake, and it's home to big rainbow and brown trout. We're gonna step out here today for a couple hours, hope a storm doesn't hit us, and show you if we can catch some of these beautiful rainbow and brown trout doing something called trolling. Most of you guys are like, what? This is the only place in the state of South Carolina you can do this. We're gonna bring you guys with us and show you what a treat it is to be up here in this amazing scenery, just covered by brown and rainbow trout in the depths below. Come with us, enjoy the beautiful upstate.
Woo! We're fishing on the lake.
45 feet, about what that fish hit at.
Is he still on there?
Keep reeling, keep reeling. What do you tell me? Keep reeling.
Keep reeling. No, he's still on there. There he is.
Let's go. Nice little brown.
Look at this beautiful brown here on the lake.
We're on a beautiful Lake Jocassee in upstate South Carolina. This is a reservoir that Duke Power created about 50 years ago. So we're fishing for trout about 60 to 30 foot deep today. This is one of the few lakes in the Southeast you can fish trout year round. They'll go all the way down to 130 foot in the peak summertime. We're chasing big browns and big rainbows. So DNR stocks about 30,000 fish a year, 15,000 rainbow, 15,000 browns. They stock in December about 2-year-old trout. They're about anywhere from 10 to 12 inches, and they'll grow all the way up to 10 pounds in a few years if they live long enough and don't get caught. It's a trophy lake. You got 5 state records for South Carolina on this small little lake.
He's still down, right? You haven't seen
Yep,
it?
that means it's a decent
Yeah,
little brown.
that's a better.
Feels like a good one, actually.
We're about to see it here soon. Let me get in front of you.
Step back. There you go. Come back.
There he is. Watch that one. Decent round for sure. He's probably gonna dive one time.
Oh, good colors on it. Watch that line, Tristan. You see it?
Yeah.
Swap sides.
Okay. Nice colors, dude. Come on.
All right, so we're trolling with Abu Garcia bait casters and ugly stick fiberglass rods. We want them to be fiberglass because they stay bent over 90% of the time while we're trolling. We're using hardware that's coming out of mostly the Northeast and Canada. We're using Apex spoons and Sutton spoons. And we always like lathering them up with putting this fire gel. We use shad and herring. That's your 2 main bait fish in this lake. You got threadfin shad and herring that just populate this lake real well. So throwing that on the lures is always just that extra help. A lot of people dip their just lure in there or just put it on the hook. What we like to do, and it seems to hold pretty good, is right below the hook, just slather it on there, and it normally lasts pretty much 4 or 5 hours, like I said, right there. Not putting too much, not putting too little. And you can tell the difference on the action. Same thing with these, we put it back on there. These are on a leader, and it slides right up to it. That's pretty much how we always set them up. We try to match our lure size to what size bait fish we're seeing. So if we're seeing smaller shad, we're gonna run a little bit smaller spoons and use that shad spoon. We see some good 2.5, 3 inch herring, we're gonna use these lures that we're using today, these 3-inch lures, and put that herring scent on it. That's how we kind of decide.
Today's episode of Pautzke Outdoors comes to you from Jocassee Lake. We're right up here on the North Carolina border. We're actually in South Carolina right now, but some parts of the lake actually do stretch into North Carolina. And we're doing something a little bit different. We're in the only place that you can legitimately troll with downriggers in the state of South Carolina to catch big rainbows and big browns. This is a phenomenal fishery setup and carefully managed by the South Carolina DNR to provide guys with an opportunity to do this sort of thing. Now, this is a really big lake. It's 7,500 acres. It may not be big compared to your big crappie and bass lakes, but for a high mountain lake, it's huge. And it's also, more importantly, one of the prettiest lakes. To be honest with you, if you live down in Columbia, if you live down in Charleston, even if you live in Spartanburg, coming up here is almost like going to Smoky Mountains National Park or a place like that where you're just overwhelmed by the scenery. Now, we were here on an odd day. Okay, this is spring. we got hit with a bad cold front where the barometer was going up and down, bouncing all over the place. Anybody knows that it's not good for fishing when that kind of stuff happens. But we still came out here today and had a great time. We caught some really nice fish. We only got a few good bites, but we knew with the barometer doing what it did, our chances were going to be minimized. However, for the scenery alone, it's a great opportunity to come up here and go with these guys. Now, these guys are with Jocassee Charters, and guess what? They're here all the time trolling. They also do waterfall guided tours. They do lake tours, and they know these trout better than anybody. Now, a couple days after we left, they caught one almost 10 pounds. We saw that and said, man, we're always a day early or a day late. Now, we came up here today because we found out about 2 years ago that these guys use a lot of our fire gel. Why? Because scent does matter when it comes to trolling. Okay, we gave them a ton of different things to try, and they basically settled on two that we absolutely love: shad and herring. Why is that? That's the bait source in the lake. That's the bait source in this area. And when you make your lure smell like that, your bites go up. Now, you heard them talk about the lake. You've seen the beauty. This is a place that regardless of where you live in South Carolina, book yourself a guided trip. It's inexpensive, doesn't require you to have downriggers and special tackle, but it does put you in the box to be able to have an opportunity to catch big rainbows and big browns, something you can't do anywhere else here in the Palmetto State. Now, a lot of people are asking, I've never seen your fire gel. Why can't I find it? Well, you can. They have an absolute ton of it and probably 10 different flavors at Walmart down in Seneca. Unfortunately, Bass Pro only has 1 or 2 flavors for you guys to get in Greenville, but we're heard they are getting more. People have told us Sportsman's Warehouse has it as well, but we can't confirm that. Or you can go online and find it. Now, remember, fire gel is something we have for every species. So if you're not fishing for trout, check out some of those other flavors and come up here and enjoy one of South Carolina's treasures. Pautzke products are available at sporting goods stores near you. If you can't find the specific color, size that you want, make sure to go to Pautzke.com. And as a thank you for watching Pautzke Outdoors, we're going to show you a coupon code to be used for 10% off your next order.